What's up, everyone? What an eventful last, I'd say, past hour. All with all the stuff with the Yankees, all the additions they made, stuff that I wasn't expecting, stuff that I was expecting. A lot of additions when it came to the bullpen, and that's basically it. Plus, a few utility guys, of course, throughout this deadline period. But overall, a win for Brian Cashman, a win for the Yankees. A lot of stuff that needed to be addressed was addressed besides the starting pitcher, and it is what it is. I'm sure a bunch of these teams were asking for the moon and the stars when it comes to the Yankees' best prospects. I'm sure they were asking for Spencer Jones. They were probably asking for George Lombard. They were probably asking for all of the best prospects, especially, it was reported the Yankees were in on Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins. So that obviously didn't come to fruition. I'm sure that they were also asking for Spencer Jones and more, maybe even Jason Dominguez. So that doesn't happen. I'm fine with it. I'm okay with that because what the Yankees did elsewhere in acquiring David Bednar, Camilo Doval, which was just released about 30 minutes ago at the end of, leading up to the deadline, and Jake Bird, three relievers that I think could really change things up for the Yankees. Throughout this entire year, there's been one consistent reliever. That's been Tim Hill. One guy. Luke Weaver was amazing for the first 2 months. Devin Williams, whatever happened there, that's been a disaster. He sucked to start the season. He's kind of leveled out, but he's still not who he was last year and all the years before. He's not great. The other guy that the Yankees have that has been solid, the one guy, and he's only pitched in 13 games, is Yerry De Los Santos. Mark Leiter Jr. has been bad. Scott Efros has been bad. They have not had consistency with their relievers since the start of the year, besides one guy, Tim Hill. So just like that, in one fell swoop, the Yankees acquired three solid relievers. Jake Bird is a little worse. He's a 4.7 ERA, but he's got a lot of great stuff. Could be a Matt Blake project there. He could become a lot better. His stuff is disgusting. Camilo Doval, I'm very excited about that acquisition. You look at what the Yankees gave up. No prospects within the top 23 on whatever website I was looking at, like the MLB.com pipeline or whatever the hell it was. David Bednar, who the Yankees did give up, I think their eighth prospect for. So I think that it's a win. It's a win. Up until, just a few hours ago, people were obviously posting the Brian Cashman meme of, every year when he does like that homeless event where he, zips up his, he zips up the, whatever the hell he sleeps in. I'm clearly out of it right now. There's so much to focus on. But of course, people are posting that meme, and Cashman awoke. He awoke for the last 2 hours of the deadline. He made a few huge moves, as I mentioned, the three big relievers. Those are the three big moves. He also acquired Candelario, Junior Candelario, right? Yeah, Junior. No, that's Junior Caminero. I always get those two mixed up. He's actually really good. He killed the Yankees the other night. But listen, the Yankees made some good moves here. I'm excited. The Mets also had a really good deadline. They got everything they needed to get with the big relievers, and then of course acquiring Cedric Mullins. Every single one of their needs was addressed. The Yankees as well, besides the starting pitcher, that was the one thing the Yankees needed that they didn't get. But again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I was expecting more than what they got. They outperformed my expectations. Brian Cashman did a better job than I was expecting him to do. So I think all around, great deadline. I wasn't expecting to come out. I was just going to do a TikTok, something quick. But of course, all of the things that came out over the last 45 minutes changed that. The Bednar news was amazing, and there's all this other stuff as well. They got Jose Caballero. Yeah, I always get him and Junior Caminero mixed up, but yeah, Jose Caballero for Everson Pereira. Unfortunately, Everson, see ya. And a player to be named later. Caballero is tied for the MLB lead with 34 stolen base. That's another thing the Yankees needed, a speedster on the base paths. So listen, I think that, again, this is a win. I'm excited. The Yankees bullpen has been garbage, has been objectively terrible. And it's usually one of their biggest strong suits year in and year out. For whatever reason, Matt Blake has not been able to maximize the talent he was given this year. You can't even really say they had key departures. They lost Clay Holmes. Who else? Like, they brought back Luke Weaver. They traded for Devin Williams. That was one of their big acquisitions in the wake of the Juan Soto news of him going to the Mets. There were a lot of different things the Yankees went out and did. Some worked, some didn't. But they did not do enough in terms of, acquiring relievers until now. And they've obviously bucked that trend. They've flipped that narrative on its head, and they've built for a potential postseason run. Like, in recent years, if you remember, the Yankees have overly relied on just a couple of guys. 2022, Wandy Peralta pitched 70 million innings, especially in that Indians now Guardians series. I don't know if they were the Guardians at that point. I digress. But you look at last year with Tim Hill. Like, how many innings did he pitch? How many innings did Luke Weaver pitch? Especially in that Guardian series, and it obviously caught up to him with the big Crispus home run. But the Yankees need guys who they can trust throughout the playoffs. It can't just be one or two guys. They're going to need to see more from Devin Williams. They're going to need to see more from Luke Weaver. But it's not the be-all, end-all if these guys don't perform. Because they have Bednar and they have Doval. And by extension, they have Bird. So they've acquired three guys. They've acquired some depth here. They got their third baseman a week ago with Ryan McMahon. They acquired Ahmed Rosario, who has an over 800 OPS against lefties. He is now the Yankees' backup shortstop, which is somewhat concerning, considering the fact that their starting shortstop has made, I forgot the stat, I think 5 errors over his last 11 games. Anthony Volpe. That's a whole different topic for another day. He might be the most bipolar player in baseball right now, with how many home runs he's hit recently and with how many errors he continues to make. The home runs are definitely unsustainable. I don't know if the errors are, because he's been consistently one of the worst fielders in MLB this year. But, Ahmed Rosario is his backup. It is what it is. The Yankees finally dealt Oswald Peraza after years of overrating him as a prospect. Then him coming up to MLB, not being able to hit water if he fell out of a boat, becoming one of the worst hitters in recent Yankee memory. And it's just really sad, considering the fact that the Yankees could have gotten a really, really solid player a couple of years ago for him. But they overrated him. They never traded him like they do with a bunch of other guys, and they don't get anything for him. And eventually you just got to trade him for scraps. They traded him to the Angels. The Oswald Peraza experiment, the Oswald Peraza era is finally over in the Bronx. Good riddance. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. He was terrible. And it's not, an indictment on his lack of confidence at the plate. It's also an indictment on the Yankees front office for not recognizing that his game and his hitting would not translate at the major league level. And I understand it's different. It's difficult to predict how someone is going to react to major league pitching. It's different when you face guys in single A, high A, low A, double A, triple A, like college. Like, it's way different. You are facing the best of the best. Everyone is throwing high 90s, mid to high 90s. Everyone's got insane stuff. You have to adjust to different speeds. There's obviously a lot more pressure playing in front of 50,000 instead of 5,000. There's a lot that comes with being a Major League Baseball player. Some games translate, some games don't. Some games translate to, and are good in certain environments, and some don't work elsewhere. And Oswald Peraza, maybe he's going to be able to have a resurgent year to end this year, to start next year with the Angels. I highly doubt that. But the Yankees finally got rid of Oswald Peraza. That's all the moves they made. I'm excited, again, about what they were able to do in terms of fixing that bullpen. It was terrible. It's been terrible this entire year. It's not usually something the Yankees have had to deal with. It's, again, as I've mentioned multiple times here, it's been one of their biggest strong suits year in and year out. This year has been way different. It has not been what we've grown accustomed to seeing over the last, you could say, 7-8 years since they made that run in 2017. Their bullpen has been solid every year outside of, maybe again 2022 when it was Wandy Peralta every single time out of the bullpen. But besides that year, the Yankees bullpen has been really solid, and it's never been an issue. It's never been one of their Achilles heels. This year it has. So let's see. I mean, listen, am I still extremely excited over what we've seen from the Yankees lineup? No, I'm not. Like, there was no big acquisition in terms of a big bat. There was no solid hitter acquired by the Yankees. And I think at the end of the day, the Yankees might be considering bringing up Spencer Jones. If you're hesitant to include him in a package for a really good starting pitcher, then you got to play him. You got to see what he has on the major league level. He's ripping apart AAA right now. 13 homers in his first 19 games. Strikes out a lot. But Aaron Judge did the same when he was called up to the majors. And again, some guys' games adjust to the pitching, to the speed, to this disgusting stuff that these major league players have. And some other people don't. So I get the Yankees' hesitation to include Spencer Jones in any one of those big trades for a starting pitcher, but bring him up. Like, it couldn't hurt to see what you have. It couldn't hurt to see who you decided to not trade for a better player potentially at the major league level. So let's see it. I think it's on September 1st, the 40-man roster, you will see him called up. You better see him called up. Like last year, the whole Jason Dominguez thing, he wasn't called up until September 4th or 5th or whatever the hell it was. But that, he didn't get as much experience as he should have before the playoffs and sucked in the playoffs. Not saying that that's a similar situation here. Of course, Spencer Jones is 24 years old. He's a month younger than me, and I'm 24 years old. He's getting up there. Like, listen, if I was a professional athlete, I'd be reaching my prime, right? 24 to 30. Get Spencer Jones up. Let's see what we have in him, and let's go from there. And hopefully we'll see that in a month when the rosters expand. So Spencer Jones stays. George Lombard stays. The top seven, the five of the other top seven prospects on the Yankees list also stay. So that's a good thing. The Yankees have been extremely hesitant to part with their best prospects. They've been very hesitant to go all in. This year is not much different. I think that if you look at the roster, if you look at the injuries, if you look at Clark Schmidt out with Tommy John, if you look at, of course, Garrett Cole, like that was a massive loss at the start of the year, losing him to Tommy John. This might not be the year to go all in. This might not be the year to, part with a lot of good assets for some rentals. That might be next year. You just never know. You never know what Garrett Cole is going to be when he comes back. You don't know what Aaron Judge is going to continue to be. Like, will he fall off at some point? Probably. Will it happen in the next 3 years? I don't think so, but we'll see. We don't know. So, again, I believe that this was a good thing. I'm content with the Yankees' trade deadline moves. Brian Cashman got active when the last 30 to 45 minutes of the deadline. Terrific, amazing. So, again, I didn't expect to be doing all this, but at 5:46, we get the alert. I was getting a lot of alerts from Jeff Passan and Jack Curry and all these baseball guys, and all of a sudden I see a Shams notification pop up, and I see the Knicks logo, and I see Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges has been extended for 4 more years at $150 million. I'm not surprised. Are you? I'm not. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this now. I just think that crazy time. Everyone was locked into the MLB trade deadline. They could have waited 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever it was, until it was over. They decided to release it now. Is there I'm kind of Brian Windhorsting this right now. Like, there might be something there. They might not have wanted a lot of discourse about that. I don't know exactly what that's about. But I'm no conspiracy theorist when it comes to this type of stuff. So you go ahead and figure that out on your own. But it's just weird, the fact that they released that right before the trade deadline in MLB. But Mikal Bridges under contract for the next 5 years with the Knicks. Not surprised. Not surprised. I think there were people out there that thought Mikal Bridges would take this massive pay cut to play with his friends, his Villanova friends. That obviously did not come to fruition. He did take some sort of pay cut. He takes $1.5 million less each year off of his potential max deal, which would have been 4 years, $156 million. He takes 4 years, $150 million, so $6 million pay cut. over 4 years, $1.5 billion a year. Thanks, Mikal. But this is allowing them to have a little additional flexibility here. It allows them for another rookie contract each year, which doesn't really move the needle for me. Not really, but, is it a positive thing at the end of the day? Yeah, it is. So thanks, Mikal Bridges. I wish he took a little more of a pay cut. Do I think he deserves the money that he got? Not with how he played offensively, not with his lack of aggression. He made some big plays on the defensive side in the playoffs. 2 that we will never forget in our lives in games 1 and 2 in Boston. And his performance in the fourth quarter in game 2 in that series as well. All that stuff will never be forgotten. But I also won't forget how inconsistent he was throughout the entire season, from start to finish. I won't forget how bad he was from the three-point line anywhere not in either corner. And I won't forget how bad he was defensively for the majority of the year. It was not the Mikal Bridges that the Knicks traded for. Like, when you give up that many assets, you expect him to be your second best point of attack defender, your best off-ball defender with his length. And you expect him to be able to hit the 3 at an efficient clip. And he was only 2 out of 3 of those things. A great off-ball defender, got into passing lanes because of his length, because of that wingspan. He wasn't a great point of attack defender. He was not. He got bodied a lot. Like to see him put on a few pounds. That became an issue in the Boston series. Besides, again, the 2 huge plays that he made in games 1 and 2. But it was very easy for the Celtics to back into him and get easy points. It was also very easy for Cade Cunningham to do that against Bridges as well in round 1 against the Pistons, which was a little concerning to watch. But Mikal Bridges gets his extension, 4 years, $150 million. That's the going rate for someone like him, a 3-and-D guy. I can't even say 3-and-D. A scoring and D guy, a score and D, you could say. But yeah, I mean, listen, I put out a reaction video right as it happened. I think the Knicks had no choice here. They had absolutely no choice. You give up what they gave up, 5 first-round picks, for a guy who did not look like someone who deserved to be traded for 5 first-round picks. But you gave up the 5 first-round picks in the first place. You can't change that. You can't rewrite history and give the Nets 3 picks instead of 5. You still gave them 5. And there was a lot of pressure on the Knicks to make sure that they extended Bridges because, listen, I think he can improve from the 3-point line? Yes. Do I think he could become a better point of attack defender? Yes. Do I think that the plays he made in the playoffs, the clutch defensive plays, can continue going forward? Yes, I think that as well. So he deserved this contract. He deserved the extension. Again, that's the going rate for someone with his ability to do what he does on both ends of the court. He's got to become more aggressive. He can't be so passive. And this isn't just on the offensive end, too. Like, I saw a stat where he was the number 1 player in the NBA at, finishing within 3 feet, like with layups. And I think that there's multiple different reasons for that. One of them being he's not aggressive. He doesn't, drive into contact. You drive into contact, you're not always going to get the call. And if it's a well-defended layup, you won't make that half the time. So Mikal Bridges obviously didn't have to deal with that because he was never aggressively driving to the hoop. Like, he could take a page out of Josh Hart. You see what Josh Hart does. He puts his head down and tries to finish through contact. Mikal Bridges is a good free throw shooter. Hart is as well, but listen, Bridges has the size to get up and score over people. And it's got to change. He's got to become more aggressive. And hopefully Mike Brown can unlock something within him that can get him to play more aggressively. I can't watch any more passive Mikal Bridges basketball. The constant fadeaways. Go to the hoop. Go to the hoop. Good things happen when you play aggressively. You'll either finish through contact, you might miss. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you might miss, you might score, and you might get fouled. 2 to 3 of those options are good options there, are good outcomes. So I'm dead tired. I've been dealing with all this deadline stuff and talking about that and doing work, and I didn't plan for this to be a 20-minute thing about the Knicks and the Yankees. If you missed what I had to say about the Yankees, you could scroll to the start after I finish up with this. But yeah, I need to take some time, digest this, and let's see what else comes of this Yankees news. Like, where do they go from here? How will they improve the bullpen now that they have 3 more solid arms, 2 of them being really good? We'll see. I'm very happy about the Doval trade. Bednar as well. But Doval, they gave up 3. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and tell you terrible prospects, but 3 bottom of the line or, bottom of the barrel prospects. So huge W from Brian Cashman. Cashman with the shot clock cheese right before the deadline. So for the first time in a while after a trade deadline, I'm not sitting here and screaming to you about how the Yankees botched it, which is a positive sign in a multitude of ways. So congratulations to Brian Cashman on a successful trade deadline and for not having hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Yankees fans, furious. So, all right, that'll do it. I could barely come up with words right now. Long day. Bridges re-signed. Talked about that. Talked about Yankees as well. So, again, if you missed all that, you could scroll back. A lot of Giant stuff coming out now. Tomorrow is August. I cannot believe it. It's finally August. So, one Giant step. Myself, Sean Morash, talking Giants every week when the season starts, twice a week, maybe even 3 times. But we're really getting on that schedule, like really pumping out content. So if you want Giant stuff, you could tune into that. I also do Giant stuff of my own. I also talk Mets, Jets, you name it. Nothing Nets related because they suck and who cares about them. But all right, that'll do it. Again, if you missed any of it, the Yankee stuff, scroll back to the start. Surface level stuff. You're not going to get any in-depth analysis from me. I need to crunch the numbers, put the work in, and I will get back to all of you guys very soon. Maybe even tomorrow. I'll do a trade deadline and review, and I'll break down each one of the guys the Yankees got, if that's something you'd like me to do. Maybe I'll do it anyway. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Have a good Thursday night. And if I don't speak to you before then, have a good weekend. Peace.